existence actively with an active choice of, I'm going to move this table. It makes a lot of noise though. It's like, and yeah, the other guys who are looking up and they're like, what is he doing? He's making a lot of noise. This guy's being crazy. He's a fucking weirdo. Yeah, he is the fucking weirdo, but he's also the smart one, the one that stood up and the one that took charge in his own surroundings in order to make things happen the way that he wants them to be, right? He wants to have an easier time writing on his paper. He wants to apply for this weird-ass job that he doesn't even know what he's doing, but he wants to apply. So he wants to write and fill this out, and he wants to do well, so he goes out of his way to make his time easier. Not realizing that him altering the surroundings is, first of all, it's not expected. People don't expect people to do that. Second of all, that his choice of trying to make his job easier for himself was the thing that made him stand out and made him, he volunteered himself for adventure. And that's what's, I don't even know, it's hard to explain because that is actually the point of the scene, both, I don't know, metaphorically and also literally. They were trying to test to see who, if any of the people in the group, are fearless enough to stand up in the midst of uncertainty and stand against the crowd to do things, to face things that may or may not make other people uncomfortable. And that is why he was accepted to be a men in black who keeps charge of, all the aliens, and he takes care of the alien stuff, and he's not afraid to look weird because other people aren't going to see the alien that he's shooting with, and he ends up like this. People are going to look and see him, and he's going to be like, carry on, y'all, sorry. Sorry. That's all they're going to see, and they're going to be like, that fucking weirdo. But he knows that, and he doesn't give a shit, and that's the whole thing that makes him so exhilarating to people to watch, is because he actively acquires adventure simply by being himself. And his life is adventurous because he himself chooses adventure. He chooses, whether he actively knows he's choosing to get in a really fucked up situation where he gets slime all over him and he has to talk to a two-headed Johnny Knoxville and a really hot lady with very pale boobies. 2000s was a weird time. Anyway, so my point, to answer everybody that was saying I miss my childhood, or I wish I could go back, or I wish I were younger again, yeah, all of that is probably true, but it's gone. So stop wasting time wishing you had that time and start using the time you have in front of you to go fucking get new stuff, to find new stuff, to seek new fucking activities, to, do adventures. What everyone's doing is we're sitting here and we're taking all of this currency that we have coming to us. This is our time. And we're taking this currency, this time we have that we could have been spending elsewhere, and we're taking it and we're putting it into all of the energy of looking into the past and just replaying the past and saying, oh, I should have done this and oh, I should have done that. That takes energy. So we're taking our time and energy that we could be using, that's just always steadily coming to us. And we could collect it and we could use all of this stuff to buy bigger and more interesting and, wilder things. But instead, we're just using it ever so slowly. It's $1 here and $1 there and $1 here just to sit here and watch our past go by and be sad about it and think I should have said that, or I should have said this, or God, I missed that person, or I was a dick. And we're just letting our fucking paychecks of time just go, just to think about the past. And we're just gonna keep thinking, God, I shouldn't have sat there and thought about being sad and sitting there and thought about being sad and sitting there. It's just a fucking cycle, and it continues, and we're wasting our fucking time. So if you want adventure, if you want to be happy again, if you're stale in life, you need to wash your cat's bowl. You need to put your hand in the water, and you need to get your hand dirty, knowing that it's going to be dirty, because if you want the bowl to be clean, you physically have to clean it. If you want to have an easier time writing on a piece of paper, and there's a table, you have to physically go grab the table and give it to yourself. So you can, and you're going to have to stand up, and it's going to be uncomfortable, and it's going to cause people to look at you, and it's going to be scary at first. But once you start getting comfortable with your body, and you start being comfortable and knowing that you're allowed to exist, and you're allowed to breathe, and you're allowed to talk, and you're allowed to cough, you know, you're human. You don't have to always be quiet. You don't have to always be... There are times and places for all of it. And you have to start allowing yourself to exist. People spend so long trying to learn how to contain themselves that they don't even have time to look at what they're containing. They don't see who they are. People stop exploring themselves once they get to, like, I would guess like 9, 10, 11. Like once they start getting a little more adult, once they start getting a little more mature, a little more aware of their surroundings, a little more socially, you know, pressured to fit in a little more, then they start losing themselves a lot more. That's when adventure and imagination starts to taper, I think. Just my own speculation. That is when people stop knowing themselves. They stop knowing themselves, and they stop knowing what things they enjoy. They stop knowing what kind of stories they want to hear. They stop knowing and caring about, you know, being a space, you know, person, being an astronaut. And they stop caring about the stars, and they stop caring about fashion, and they stop caring about doing the lipstick like the, you know, little girl when she was like 6 wanted to be. And, you know, the guys all stop caring about being like, I don't know, whatever football people they want to be like, or whatever the fuck boys and girls wanted to be. The girls might have wanted to be the football players, and the guys might have wanted to do fashion. I don't know. It's not my point. That's not what I'm getting at. My point is, whoever you were at the time, many of us stop caring about who we were, and many of us stop allowing those things to grow and become more in us. We stop feeding those pieces of ourselves because it's not normal, and it's not okay, and it's weird. It's, you know, everyone has to fit into this thing, you know, but it's not. That's what's weird. That's weird. The fucking existing out here is not weird. That's the most normal and expected human thing to possibly do, is to exist outside of fucking realms of logic and, you know, conformity. That's the whole point about being a human, is that we have the possibility to be outside of conformity. You know, everything that people always suggest that like the TV show Supernatural like suggests, just like a lot of biblical and, you know, religious people suggest, that creatures that are not human beings apparently loathe human beings for simply having free will. Okay. We're like, well, that's not a big deal. You know, you have free will too. You're allowed to be here. But in reality, they're not. They don't have free will. And the thing is that humans spend so long trying to take away the chaos that is or comes with free will. Because with free will, we have the freedom and the possibility and the potential to create and make and do such an infinitesimal number of possibilities outside of the realm of something like an angel that is in a rigid and non-free-willed, you know, being. And it's such a huge concept for me to try to express in these tiny human words, but I'm trying to take a big grand idea, and I'm trying to find ways to feed it into this puzzle together. It's like little puzzle pieces, and I'm trying to find how to take this big picture, and I'm trying to like word it in a way that you guys can all share and understand what I'm seeing in my head. And it's hard to try to find the right pieces to put them together, because, you know, sometimes I can get it and sometimes I come up short. But yeah, that's my whole point about if you're one of the people that says that you wish you could be a kid again, my advice to you is be a kid again. Be the kid that you were and the kid that you put away, and listen to your kid self, because your kid self stopped getting listened to a long time ago. You stopped letting it tell you interesting stuff about its day, or how cool, you know, Johnny Depp is at acting, and you stop letting your kid self explore any of the stuff that made it happy. Passion, things that did that, you all started focusing in, everybody, I did it, started focusing in on your grades in high school, in middle school, and, you know, your hairstyles and what's cool and everybody's talking about, and you have to have the same clothes that everybody's doing because that's what everyone's talking about, and you're trying to be in with it, like, yeah, I'm part of life too. Everyone's trying to find themselves, but also find what's okay in life, in society, and they're just adjusting, and it's such a weird period for humans, but we just sheared off all of our, you know, possibilities and potential as human beings, and we all tried to be like, you have to all just be, we're all gonna just be this. But who decided that? People that are afraid of being out of control decided that. People that want control and want, and I don't mean that like a crazy power grab either. I just mean like people that are afraid of change innately want control. And people that, you know, people that are very control freakish, as they say, are very tense, they're very limited. They try to be in control all the time. They don't want to have anything that could go out of their, you know, realm of containment. So those are the people that don't like adrenaline. You know, those are the people that are like, no nonsense. Everything is serious. We have to do this. Everything's rigid. This and that. And then those are the people that are so high anxiety, I think, because they're just trying so hard to keep shelters and blockading everything about life. And there's so much about life that's just so unpredictable. And you're constantly spending your whole life trying to put covers up to shield against any and everything that could fucking possibly exist, that you're not actually enjoying the fun things that could possibly fucking exist. Like, you're missing out by simply choosing to block off any possibilities. So once you get stuck in this little realm and you're like, the only things that are allowed to happen are I'm only allowed to get pizzas every Friday night, and I'm only allowed to get, you know, mozzarella sticks once every Tuesday, and just no wiggle room, no adventure whatsoever. And that is what you're doing, you know, to make yourself miss out. And that's my whole point. If you want to be a kid again, be a kid again. Be you. Find who you are and let yourself tell you what you like. Because most of us don't fucking know anymore. Most of us are so afraid to like anything that's not part of norm, part of society. You know, have a niche hobby or interest. And it frustrates me a lot. Excuse me. Okay, well, I think I'm going to end this one here. Bye, guys. ThatSynGirl here.